You know, sometimes in government, things take a turn you just absolutely do not see coming.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Always keeps you on your toes.
Well, get this. Shapley, remember him? The IRS agent, the whistleblower on the Hunter Biden tax investigation.
Yeah, I remember. Supervisory Special Agent, right?
Right.
Came forward last year.
Exactly. He's now the acting IRS commissioner.
Really? Acting Commissioner?
Uh,
Shapley.
Yep. The guy who publicly raised concerns is now, temporarily at least, running the show.
Wow. Okay. That's unexpected, is putting it mildly. He'd been there, what, 14 years?
14 years, yeah. Led dozens of staff. Then in 2023, he goes to CBS News, talks about concerns over the Hunter Biden probe.
Right. He felt there was improper pressure being applied, correct?
Yeah.
Regarding the president's son.
That was his allegation, someone inside the system speaking out, and now temporary head of the whole agency.
You really don't see that happen. So we're digging into this based on that CBS News reporting.
Yeah, looking at excerpts from that, trying to figure out, what does this appointment actually signal? What are we looking at here?
Well, one thing to remember is Shapley wasn't totally alone in this. There was another IRS whistleblower.
Joseph Ziegler. Right.
Exactly, Joseph Ziegler. He came forward to Congress, too. They both alleged the Department of Justice was sort of slow-walking the investigation.
And discouraged them from following leads potentially linked to President Biden himself. That was the core of it.
That was the core of their public allegations, yes.
Yeah.
And they claimed they were essentially sidelined afterwards, taken off the case.
Okay, and now the CBS report points out something even, well, more unusual, perhaps.
Which is?
Both Shapley and Ziegler have landed pretty significant roles now in the Trump administration.
Oh, right. Shapley's also a deputy director of criminal investigations at the IRS now, along with being acting commissioner.
And Ziegler?
Ziegler is a senior advisor for IRS reform. So quite a turnaround from being, as they described it, pushed aside.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
quite the trajectory. From whistleblower to, well, positions of influence within the very system they criticized.
And it's happening while President Trump's actual nominee for the permanent IRS job, Billy Long, is still waiting for Senate confirmation.
Ah, okay. So Shapley's appointment is filling that gap, that temporary void.
Correct. It's an interim role.
Yeah.
But still, putting someone who publicly accused the agency, or rather parts of the government handling the agency's work, of political interference, putting him in charge, even temporarily, it's unconventional.
Definitely unconventional. And just to add some context here for listeners, remember Hunter Biden did plead guilty eventually to some tax crimes.
Though that original broader plea deal kind of fell apart under scrutiny.
Right, and then he was separately convicted on those gun charges.
And then received that, let's just say, controversial pardon from his father, President Biden, which covered quite a wide range of potential federal issues.
So a very complex backdrop to all this.
Absolutely. But what's maybe really striking here isn't just, a whistleblower getting promoted. That can happen.
Right.
It's someone who specifically alleged political interference now being placed in a position of significant authority, even if it's acting.
Yeah, that's the nub of it, isn't it? Does this signal a change? Maybe empowering more people to speak out?
It could. Or, well, raise its question. So for everyone listening, you've got someone who had these serious concerns about a politically charged case, now temporarily leading the agency involved. It really makes you think about accountability.
Is this move towards like a more independent IRS?
Yeah.
Less politicized? Because that's often the goal you hear about.
It's one way to look at it. Or you could argue the opposite, couldn't you? That putting someone with such a specific high-profile history tied to one political side's focus.
Could introduce a different kind of politicization.
Potentially. It's just,
Okay.
It's complex. There isn't a simple answer here.
No, definitely not. This whole situation, it really makes you wonder about the message it sends,
What does it signal about speaking up if you think something's wrong inside the government?
Yeah.
And zooming out, it connects to that bigger ongoing debate, doesn't it? How do we ensure law enforcement is impartial
Right.
while acknowledging that politics inevitably plays some role, or at least there's the perception it does, regardless of who's in charge?
Okay, so let's quickly recap then. Shapley, IRS whistleblower, Hunter Biden tax probe.
Now acting IRS
We
commissioner?
went from flagging potential political interference to temporarily the top job there.
And Ziegler, the other whistleblower, also in a significant new role, all happening against the backdrop of Hunter Biden's legal saga and that pardon.
So it leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty big question to chew on, I think.
Definitely. What does Shapley's appointment, even if temporary, really tell us about where the IRS might be headed? especially with these politically sensitive cases.
Is it a step towards more accountability, or does it risk, maybe unintentionally, further politicizing a really critical agency?
Something to ponder. What are the potential long-term effects here? Lots to consider.